very nice. I think the Benue State workers are very happy. The reaction is there. Everybody is jubilating. I think on behalf of my colleagues in the secondary school level and my comrades in the union, we really want to appreciate the governor for what he has done. I think he has lived to his promise. You know, if you recall, our governor was the first to promise that he was going to pay the 70,000 naira minimum wage, and he has done much beyond 70,000. He approved 75,000. I think every Benue worker is happy, and from the reactions that we're getting, we're sure that this will be implemented very soon. And not just the 75,000 naira minimum wage, he also promised that he's going to clear the arrears of 2023. And that is very commendable.
I was one out of the 36 governors, the very first person to give my willingness, the state's willingness, to go with the swing of the new minimum wage. And I'm happy to announce that the new minimum wage of 75,000 naira is being approved. We know that you as civil servants had gone through so much. It was our intent even to cushion the effects of the hardships on workers. And so you may recall, we had said we would take care of 5 months of your arrears. I know we had taken care of 2 months, and 3 months are remaining. With this increase, what we intend to do is we would spread this into January. So each month you receive your salary, your arrears, and arrears of 1 month is accompanied. In the next 3 months. In fact, let's make it in the next 2 months. So we'll take care of the remaining 3 months arrears. And I think it would make a lot of common sense. Since I was even the first governor that, declared our intention to do this willingly, but is doing it kind of 1-2 months later. Your 75,000 minimum wage is beginning this month.
We appreciate our governor, His Excellency Dr. Hyacinth Yomalia. I think he's worker friendly, and we are hoping that by next year we're going to have a much better relationship with him. Well, I would say that I think they were too quick to complain, because the issue of consequential adjustment is a work in progress. As at yesterday, when the Subnet uploaded the salary on their platform, they were still working on the consequential adjustment, because they started working on the 30,000 consequential adjustment, which was signed into agreement with the governor and the organized labor. They started working on that, and I think people were really anxious, but I don't think there was any issue. By yesterday, we had communications with the office of the Director of Treasury at the Ministry of Finance, and also the Director at the Computer Center at Finance. They assured us that this was work in progress, and of course, everyone can attest to the fact that by yesterday, before midnight, and early hours of today, they were able to work the consequential adjustment for the 75,000 naira minimum wage that the governor expressly approved. And I think everybody is already excited that that has been uploaded and is included on the payment slip of everybody. So I want to assure our people that they can go there, check and see that the consolidated allowance is there and the salaries are uploaded. I want to believe that His Excellency will quickly and speedily authorize the payment, maybe within a week or early next week. You know, as workers, and everyone knows the condition, the economic situation in Nigeria today, we can never be really satisfied. We're always asking for more. Oliver Twist is put. But we know that we didn't want to push the government to a corner where they may not be able to pay along the line. The governor pleaded that this is the financial situation of Benue State, and he said that we should also understand with him. That's why, if you look at the initial table that was presented, the 75,000 naira, you can see that the consequential adjustment is a little better than what is approved today. But I think we'll start from somewhere, and then eventually, someday, we'll get to that point. We should be thankful to the governor, because at the end of the day, if you compare our PV to that of other states, I think we are still a step ahead of many other states. So I think it is good. We do not expect that our adjustments should be the same with that of federal government. The federal government generates the money and only shares to states. So they can pay, and of course they have much less number of workers than the states have. So I think we are good for now. We're not exactly very satisfied, but we're good and we're thankful. The issue of elections of ASUSS, we are working towards that. You know, if you recall, about 8 months, getting to 9 months ago, the head of service intervened in the issue or the matter of ASUSS. We came on board as an interim school, and we have been working behind the scene. And later on, the advisor to the governor on labor matters took over the matter from the head of service. You know, so we have been talking, we have been interacting with him, and the last time we had an interaction with him was that he said we should respond to a letter that he wrote to us, and we are already doing that. And at the same time, we have also contacted the office of the Attorney General, because the memo that the advisor to the governor wrote to us had an attachment which came from the office of the Attorney General that said that we are not a registered union, and therefore we cannot carry out election until we satisfy certain conditions that were given to us by the advisor. We do not want to be confrontational with the government. We are doing everything that is humanly possible to get to a point where everyone, all the parties will be satisfied, the advisor to the governor, the Attorney General, so that we can have a date, a suitable date that we will carry out or conduct our elections. The time is fast spent, we know that, but it is not our making. And we cannot force the governor or the government to a point where we might get into trouble. So we're trying to follow the government rules, and I think that as soon as possible, we're on course, we're on track. As soon as possible, maybe later in the year, maybe between December or January next year, we might be able to have a date for our elections. Well, I cannot say expressly that His Excellency is interested in the issue of ASUSS or union matters. But of course, we all know that as far as issue of union, the governor has appointed an advisor in that office. He deals with union matters of labor relations. So this whole thing is under his purview. And we have to work with the advisor. Because at the end of the day, the Attorney General of the state is also involved. We cannot allow ourselves to be used by anybody. The governor is not, I want to say the governor is not probably not interested in the matter, but the rules are there. We do not want to break any rule. At the same time, we want to protect our right as a union. Okay, let me first correct the impression that we're not backed up by the law. We are. The only problem we have is just the registration of the union. We have every right to associate ourselves as citizens of this country. The Constitution allows everybody the freedom of association. Nobody can stop us from doing that. So, the only problem we have is that just because we are not certificated yet, that doesn't mean that we cannot congregate. And we are doing that already. ASUSS is in not less than 34 states of the Federation. And that takes me to the issue of registration. We had a court case. This court case was instituted by NUT at the Federal High Court Abuja. They got an interlocutory injunction, which is still subsisting. But we're doing everything possible. You know, this issue of registration of ASUSS is not about Benue State alone. It's a national issue. We have national officials that are working assiduously on this matter. And we're also supporting them. We're asking questions, and we think that early next year, God willing, we will get completely registered. And let me just clear this impression. You know, sometimes people who are not even very, versed about union matters, it's easy to say, oh, ASUSS is not registered, ASUSS is not registered. What is stopping ASUSS from being registered? There are other struggles that have taken certain unions 10, 20, 30, or even 40 years to get registered. Unless government is involved, like the issue of ASUSS and Conwa, because it was a government matter, it took them barely a year, and Conwa was registered as a union. We want to believe that this matter is in court, and we are hoping that very soon the court will take a decision, and we will be registered and certified.